The story of HIV in Papua New Guinea does offer hope. And only several years ago, just a few years ago, the World Health Organization feared a pandemic. In fact, new HIV infections in PNG are estimated to have fallen. Instead of the 5% of the population being infected, the figure today is something around 0.8. It's 6 times less than once feared, but 0.8% is still too many. It's appropriate, ladies and gentlemen, to remember this at an event that has as its focus on leveraging partnerships between the government and private companies in the resources sector.
Is the government of Papua New Guinea overarching plan for responding to HIV? It is the third rolling plan developed by the government to respond to the epidemic since the enactment of the National AIDS Council Act in 1997. The government of Papua New Guinea under Prime Minister Peter O'Neill has also approved the public partnership policy in 2014. This government, which I am the health minister, has involved partners such as Oil Search in practically all AIDS activities.
I'd like to tell you why we are involved in the fight against HIV/AIDS and why I believe it's essential that the private sector steps up the pace to work with governments, NGOs, churches and the communities in which we work to address the challenges of this insidious disease in Papua New Guinea. In PNG, it is time, as never before, for the private and public sectors to work together to address these issues. This work in turn led to the formation of our Health Foundation, allowing us to potentially deliver health programs across a broader area of the country and to leverage partnerships with the formal and informal sectors, building on our respective strengths.
Private operators can often respond far more flexibly and innovatively to challenges which arise, such as assisting the government of PNG with the administration of the Global Fund grants, as Oil Search has done so very, very well.
The work in PNG, and in particular with Oil Search and the public-private partnership, offers some insights into potential models, or successful models that can work in countries that are growing rapidly in wealth. It really is public-private partnerships growing, ensuring that the private sector is bringing what its expertise is, the public sector brings what its expertise is, not the old approach to public-private partnerships where we basically fell over each other and replicated what each other was doing.
So when we're thinking about these public-private partnerships coming from the public sector, often we're thinking of them, or we were thinking of them perhaps in the past, as largely a way to get financial resources. But actually, if we look at the lessons that we've learned, cash, I'm not saying it's not important, it's always important, but it's actually probably less important than many of the other contributions of the private sector.
Public-private partnerships, I think, for the future play a very significant role in science. So if we want to discover new ways to do better than what we're doing now, if we want to make sure we don't have to commit people to lifelong treatment, we need innovation and investment. And the public-private partnerships can actually be highly effective in basic scientific discovery.
It's a good and compelling model. It should and does work. In PNG, in conjunction with the NDOH, a number of church and NGO groups, the Health Foundation now supports some 66 clinics in 5 provinces, have tested over 45,000 people for HIV over the past 6 years, provided training in HIV and STI management, along with reproductive health and gender-based violence. Over 150 community health staff have been trained to test and treat HIV, and over 50 school teachers have been supported to deliver programs that educate students about HIV, addressing the common ignorance and stigma that is seen in society, especially in the Highlands.
There's a lot of Oil Search staff over here. And they've done the PNG government proud. And I'm sure they will continue to do so. I'm a very happy man standing over here. I'm glad to be here. It's 2014 AIDS conference. I'm sure we can get a lot. And we can impart that knowledge. Where we come from, whatever country it is, whatever region it is, which part of the world it is. But we stand together, stand tall, stand proud. We can achieve. Thank you.
Please don't expect, as in the private sector, that just paying taxes will continue to deliver you a stable operating environment in PNG, especially over the next 5 years. Join the cause, step up the pace, private sector, and make a real difference. Thank you very much.